when we started and the pain you were having before we started working together.
Yeah, just to kind of recap, it was like a gym injury, I would say. Just uh, reaching back for the weight as I'm on the mat, like laying on my back. It was an uncomfortable, I guess, position, and I didn't really brace myself as far as lifting the weight from behind, above my head, but from behind as I'm lying on my back. So
Mhm.
I immediately felt something. I was like, "Uh-oh," and then thinking, I might have pulled a muscle or something that would eventually go away. It didn't. And then like I saw you guys' advertisement on Instagram. So I was like, you know what? Let me just, give them a holler. I reached out through DM and you guys responded right away. And then that's how I kind of, ended up setting up appointment, talking to you, assessing the situation and starting the program.
Good deal, good deal. And so what were kind of your biggest challenges or frustration like with the shoulder before we began working together?
Well, it was more so, not being able to lift uh, just certain exercises I wasn't able to complete anymore, feeling pain and
Uh,
realizing, okay, this could get ugly, this could get worse. It wasn't going away. So it was restricting me from continuing my workouts. And, I don't know about you, but when I can't finish something or complete something correctly or completely,
right.
it was frustrating. So
Mm.
that was the main reason for the reach out.
When it comes to actually, maybe reaching out to us versus maybe other videos you saw, what kind of made you reach out to us to like be your virtual shoulder specialist?
Well, it was, a different approach. I didn't necessarily think, okay, should I go to the doctor and then it just popped up, and I was like, wow, this is something different, a different avenue. And I wouldn't mind trying because I'm actively exercising and I always go to the gym. So I felt like, okay, this aligns with what I do anyway. So it shouldn't be too bad.
And as far as like, the structure of the program, what did you feel like it was like easy to follow? All easy to follow?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Once we got the program set up and I downloaded the app, I was very surprised how seamless it was. Day to day. I even when you open the app and you see the little inspiring message every day, I was just like, oh, this is pretty cool. And if you're not really advanced and as far as mobility and movement, I love the fact that it showed you the video to assist with that. And it made it a lot more, seamless.
See everything, the calendar, the videos, like it's a very like simple, if you're not good with technology, it's still very like easy to use, right?
Exactly, so if you're not tech savvy, no issue there. So I
Like
can
one of the
appreciate that.
That's one of the things people say is like, like this online thing, like I'm not good with technology, like using my phone, I'm not, and we're like, oh no, don't worry, like it's very easy to use there. So I'm glad that you had that experience. And like, maybe compared to some other stuff that you tried, how did you feel like this program was a little bit different?
Well, it when it first started, I was like, "Okay, the pain's not going away." So, of course, I kinda just went and got some over-the-counter stuff to try to rub on it or, I wasn't able to sleep in certain positions. So I was just like, "Okay, what's next?" The over-the-counter stuff wasn't working. I was trying to, put a warm compress. I tried cold compress. I'm like, "Okay, I have to figure this out." So, it was more so like, "Okay, this has to be the next step. It has to be something more than, a quick fix, so to speak."
Right. Yeah, because like you can do the quick fixes to get the short term relief, or you can kind of focus on more of that like long term solution, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, okay. And as far as like, what kind of improvements have you noticed since starting the program?
Well, I could say, like, the first 2 or 3 weeks, some of those exercises as it progressed, I was like, "Ooh, this is really tough," you know? Because
Right.
with mobility, we're so used to doing our, I guess, natural or normal movements, you know? But once you start stretching your muscle particular way, you're like, "Wait, this is different," you know? So you really have to take your time with it, you know? So I really, make sure I watch the videos on how to properly do the exercise so I wouldn't further the injury.
Mhm.
But, it was more so it progressed. It really got easier once I stayed consistent, which was
Yeah.
tough too, because I would do my normal workouts, and then some days I would go twice a day, maybe, once in the day and once in the night just to keep up.
There you go.
So,
You ended on a 53-day streak there, so you were definitely consistent, that's for sure.
yeah. Yeah,
I'll say I
I was
think you only
trying
missed
to.
a couple days on here.
Yeah, and then I would try to, double up
Right.
on my workout, try to catch up. If it wasn't, back to back, I would definitely go back and say, "Okay, what did I miss? Let's do, a couple more sets of that." So, yeah, it was challenging at first as far as the mobility, where I started, and then maybe, like, after, I would say, that first, 30 days, and I started noticing a difference as far as pain level, decreasing, and just overall mobility was changing. I was like, "Okay, I feel like it's getting better."
Awesome. So you feel like once you kinda got 30 days in, that's when things started to really kinda move in the right direction
Thanks.
for you?
Yeah,
Ah,
exactly.
fantastic. And as far as, like, maybe, like, stuff you were doing at the gym, what kinda improvements did you notice, as you were kinda working through the program?
Well, the program has really taught me to be patient, and give yourself grace. Because 'cause I'm not gonna lie, it was times where I was really frustrated, but I had to, to follow through, you gotta take your time. So it was a constant reminder of that. You can't rush through it. You might hurt yourself even more. And I really, listened to the assessment that I had last as far as, pain level and not extending that pain, and just really, do what you can when you can,
Yeah.
and eventually you're gonna see the difference. So I was definitely, able to be more mobile and just gain more strength overall. I noticed that maybe within the second month, I was like, okay, now I can, move a little bit more in this direction. I wasn't overdoing it, but I was definitely, listening to my body.
Good, yeah, learning to listen to your body. Our kind of the thing we like to say is we wanna teach you how to cook, like, as a chef, not just, like, follow a recipe, right? Instead of
Right.
just, like, kinda checking off boxes, we want you to have a good understanding of some of these frameworks and how to, like, listen to your body and how it's responding, so then that'll make you be successful for the long term. Were there any points where you had, like, a surprising benefit or, like, a surprising result, that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, having to go more than once a day and just really stick and be focused on the program, it gave me some more motivation to keep going. It wasn't like,
Good.
"What, I'm tired. I'm over it," because you can get frustrated with it, but it really kept me motivated and gave me energy, more energy at times. So that was always a plus, especially doing additional hours at work, and just, I was always looking forward to the next day to see, okay, what am I doing new at the end of the week or the start of the week?
There you go. That's awesome. I like that. And I guess just like, how has this experience changed your outlook on managing your shoulder health?
You know what? It's more so it gives you a new outlook on researching stuff. You Google things and different ways to handle pain, or just in general, just like you're looking up, I don't know, a vacation or just something you're interested in. You find all these different avenues you can go to get things done. So I was actually really surprised with the just the overall process, like from assessment to performance, and the app, everything was just so seamless. There's other avenues, you don't have to go, straight to the doctor, and I really like that.
Good, good. Yeah, and just kind of the last part here is like, what if you were talking to somebody else, that has shoulder pain and they're thinking about, maybe looking at like a virtual shoulder rehab option versus maybe like doing it in person, like going to like your traditional medicine route. What do you think you'd maybe tell them?
Well, I would always tell them to keep their options open and, I would name drop you guys, like, you know what, for example, like, I'll let them know my experience and, just don't some people are very leery of certain things online, so they're
Yeah.
like, "I don't know," and I could be a testimony to that, so I would definitely, say, "Hey," a referral at least, looking for this program.